The Fountain, Day 187. Find the Source. As we watch so many things unfolding around us, wars and rumors of wars, vax or no vax, critical race theory, Roe versus Wade backlash, trans, this and that, it's overwhelming. But God keeps directing me to keep it simple. He keeps reminding me to always look to the root of each cause and complaint. Where did it originate from? Who started it? What kind of person were they? And why did it begin? In my pursuit of keeping it simple, this includes thoughts, always boiling down rhetoric and shouts to the original argument, if there even is a real argument to be found. When we look at many of the above listed things, and if we look at even more scandals that are occurring, I think many of us would be shocked to see and know the nefarious origins of the leaders of each movement. In my nature, I always want to assume the best of people. I truly struggle to see a person as doing a lot of evil, but the more I seek out the simple method, the more I see there is true evil amiss, and it's been around since the beginning of time. I want to read this. I know that it's lengthy, but really think about what is happening. Sorry, I keep getting tongue-tied. This is a note for my YouTube viewers. This story is so revealing, and if you can't see today in this story, I don't know. About that time, serious trouble developed in Ephesus concerning the way. It began with Demetrius, a silversmith, who had a large business manufacturing silver shrines of the Greek goddess Artemis. He kept many craftsmen busy. He called them together along with others employed in similar trades and addressed them as follows: "Gentlemen, you know that our wealth comes from this business. But as you have seen and heard, this man Paul has persuaded many people that handmade gods aren't really gods at all. And he's done this not only here in Ephesus, but throughout the entire province. Of course, I'm not just talking about the loss of public respect for our business. I'm also concerned that the temple of the great goddess Artemis will lose its influence, and that Artemis, this magnificent goddess, worshipped throughout the province of Asia and all around the world, will be robbed of her great prestige." At this, their anger boiled, and they began shouting, "Great is Artemis of the Ephesians!" Soon, the whole city was filled with confusion. Everyone rushed to the amphitheater, dragging along Gaius and Aristarchus, who were Paul's traveling companions from Macedonia. Paul wanted to go in, but the believers wouldn't let him. Some of the officials of the province, friends of Paul, also sent him a message begging him not to risk his life by entering the amphitheater. Inside, the people were all shouting, some one thing, some another. Everything was in confusion. In fact, listen to this, most of them didn't even know why they were there. The Jews in the crowd pushed Alexander forward and told him to explain the situation. He motioned for silence and tried to speak. But when the crowd realized he was a Jew, they started shouting again and kept it up for about 2 hours. "Great is Artemis of the Ephesians! Great is Artemis of the Ephesians!" At last, the mayor was able to quiet them down enough to speak. "Citizens of Ephesus," he said, "everyone knows that Ephesus is the official guardian of the temple of the great Artemis, whose image fell down to us from heaven. Since this is an undeniable fact, you should stay calm and not do anything rash. You have brought these men here, but they have stolen nothing from the temple and have not spoken against our goddess. If Demetrius and the craftsmen have any case against them, the courts are in session, and the officials can hear the case at once. Let them make formal charges. And if there are complaints about other matters, they can be settled by legal assembly. I'm afraid we're in danger of being charged with rioting by the Roman government, since there is no cause for all this commotion. And if Rome demands an explanation, we won't know what to say." Then he dismissed them, and they dispersed. Acts 19:23 through 41. This story from Scripture is shockingly like the mob rule that we've seen over the past few years, really, and lately, particularly after Roe fell. The weeping and the gnashing of teeth has been fierce and so similar to the mob described in the Scripture. I can tell many who shout and complain actually have no idea what they're talking about. When things seem crazy on this earth, I often look to Scripture to remind myself that there is nothing new under the sun. It's all happened before. So why not read what God says about it? Pray, listen, and then decide how to proceed. When looking at many of the events occurring today, we can clearly see this. What I was saying before. Remember what God told us? When looking at many of the events today, we can clearly see this. Do you remember what God told us? Money is not the root of all evil, but the love of money sure is. And unfortunately, it's often just that simple today. Find the money. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Some people, eager for money, have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. 1 Timothy 6 through 10.